Not sure if you've heard, but the sequel to arguably the best vampire game ever made was announced a little while ago. And to celebrate the announcement of Bloodlines 2, the good folks over at itch.io decided to have themselves a little vampire-centric game jam. As you can see from the title of this video, we're gonna have a look at one of them. So, welcome to my cab and join me as I go hunting for my next meal. The wind was blowing cold on my face through the open window. My car piercing the city's heart like a golden bullet, making its way through the concrete giants that were mostly asleep. Up ahead, a figure leaning against the light post raised his hand to call my attention. It was 5:45. That meant that I had time for one more run before the sun came knocking to wake up the city of New Wenders. I slowed down gently as I approached him. He was wearing a leather jacket with the collar raised, and a grey beret covering his short blonde hair. Come inside. He was a young lad, looked like the bon vivant type.
Can you take me over to the east side?
No problem. I set the clock running and started driving again.
Mind if I smoke?
No problem.
Thank you.
I knew he would not be quiet for long.
Do you always work at night?
I enjoy the loneliness.
I know what you mean.
As he said that, he started rubbing his left hand over his fist. The lad was nervous as a chicken on the way to the pan. He had been careful, his hands were clean, but I could smell the blood, the little that was. How about you? Do you take cabs at night very often?
Sometimes.
The lungs fill up with smoke. Eyes look around, searching for a way out. Smoke comes out. You seem a little troubled. Problem with the lady? His eyes meet my stare in the viewing mirror. I can see the fear. I know it, and he knows that I do.
No.
He puts out the cigarette. The coward doesn't even have the guts to admit it. Alright then. I turn my attention to the deserted road and keep driving. Soon we cross the bridge, and I would have to make a decision about this piece of shit. I can't deny that the smell of blood aroused my appetite, even though I wasn't particularly hungry. A breath of fresh air washed away the cigarette smell as we moved above the river. East side was not far off now. I turned left after the bridge, the opposite way of where the lad asked me to take him. He takes a moment to realize it.
Hey, where are we going?
The fear in his voice is palpable. Taking a shortcut.
What shortcut? Please, stop the car.
I could feel my pale skin blushing with excitement as the blood started to pump through my veins, agitated by a deep and dark instinct that I have come to know too well.
Stop this car, now.
It was a bit late for him to start screaming. Now, the only ones that would hear him would be the frogs and the fishes. I stopped the car under the bridge, just a few feet away from the river bank. By this point, I was still unsure if I was going to suck him dry or let him go back to his miserable life. He wouldn't remember this anyway. I don't want any bloodstains on my seat, so I get out of the car and open the passenger's door. He jumps out and starts running. The lad is a slow-moving target. In a fraction of a second, I am by his side, delicately pushing his right foot and watching him fall on his chin, raising a cloud of dirt. I move over him and grab him by the hair, raising his head.
Please.
He mumbles. There's blood in his mouth. The smell starts to drive me crazy. I bite him. After I've had my fill, I push his lifeless body down the river bank. The fish will not sleep alone tonight. The dark sky was already starting to light up. Time to go back to the 20 square meters apartment downtown. My own personal coffin. And that was Taxi by Night. So for one, I am really impressed by the fact that this is a 3D game. That's amazing for a game jam. And the plot, fuck, please, give me an experimental 10-episode Netflix series about a vampire cab driver who picks up bad people and have conversations with them to determine whether or not their life is worth something. It's such a simple but effective premise and it gives me the chills. And the best part, the last screen promises that this is to be continued, so yeah, we'll definitely be checking back on this game when it gets continued. For now, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!